for speed. Go!
Everybody, welcome to Cocktail Time here at 4Player Network. It's Sunday night, which means it's time to drink and talk about video games. This is sort of like the Aftermath show.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Oh, man. Everybody, welcome to Cocktail Time here at 4Player Network. I'm your host, Joseph Christ. And with me tonight, as per usual, is Bob Webb. How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing pretty good.
And Chris Davis, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
So welcome to Sunday. How's everybody's weekend? How was your Friday, Bob? Did anything memorable happen on Friday?
Nothing at all. You should never mention it again.
If we say it was something memorable, that would imply that we remember it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was. I was hungover most of yesterday.
I was hungover. I was hungover pretty bad on Saturday as well. Feeling better on Sunday. You know, I'll just say this, and my mic is still kind of fucked up. Apparently, it was my mic was fine until we came on, and now it's fucking up.
That's the way it works.
When you do something like this, some sort of like live entertainment, radio podcast thing, you gotta let it all hang out sometimes. You know, you have to be honest with yourself and honest with the viewers, and that's what makes for good entertainment, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it certainly was entertaining. I guess
it certainly was.
So I have been told that there was an incident Friday night involving me. I do not know what it was, nor do I really want to find out. So
it's sometimes, you know, there's a saying, ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm. This is one of those times.
Yeah. I would
I get that very distinct impression.
Yeah.
I guess it was kind of like an impromptu cocktail time on Friday, but it was more less like cocktail time than like a shit face time.
It was much more than a cocktail time. It was a shit face time, is a way to put it. Yeah. I woke up the next day and felt awful. I have this giant bruise on my right leg that I don't really know where it came from. I woke up so I woke up and I was completely clothed. I was in bed completely clothed, my shoes on and everything. And I hear this beeping, this beep, beep. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it was the beeping that kind of woke me up. And I go into my kitchen, and what I see my microwave is beeping, and I open it up, and in there is this takeout macaroni thing that apparently I put in there and then left in there, and my oven is on.
What?
My oven is
what
on.
What did you do?
My oven is on, set to 350 degrees, and there's a now thawed frozen pizza on my counter next to the oven. So I think I was about to make myself food, and then decided, maybe I'll lay down, pass out, or what else. So
yes, it was that was a complete mess. God, we were broadcasting until like 2 in the morning. 2 to 3?
About 3 in the morning. I don't know. See, I don't know.
I didn't go to bed until about 3.
Yeah, so it had to be around there. It had to be around there. Because I don't recall time. At one point, time just kind of fades away, and time makes no more difference. There is no more time. There is only Zool. It's kind of what happens. And
we had some East Coasters that held on until it was like 5 or 6 in the morning out there.
Yeah.
A
sci-fi chick who's watching us right now for pp.tv, she was there the whole time, I think. So like 6 in the morning. So
I think sci-fi and and Emily and Turn to Gold were both there for a long time. And Reborn was there for a while.
I think
they must have been hanging on for more pictures of my Adonis-like body.
Yes,
which Gray Fox was in 4PP's chat was so kind as to link me to some.
Yeah,
I don't want to call it art, but I do want to know who's responsible for this.
Just to get back at them, possibly.
Yes.
I don't know. Things may happen.
Things may happen. I will say honestly, Chris, you've never looked better. You never looked better. Oh man. So anyway, it did last a long time, but I think it's important that when you get into a sorry state, that the state probably lasts as long as is feasible. So, but anyway, well, at least thank God it's on the internet.
Yeah,
no one will see it.
Yeah. No one will ever remember this.
No one will ever know. I hope none of you had any higher aspirations for political office. So,
oh God,
they are gone. They are completely gone. All right, let's do our toast of the week. How's that?
Sure.
All right.
Bob, you go first.
Okay, so I'm drinking, actually, I've got a nice bottle of one of my favorite beers here, Duvel. I actually have a Duvel glass to drink out of it, so I'm doing like a legit, match set or whatever the fuck. I guess my toast goes to Visceral Games, as the guys that made Dead Space.
Mm-hmm.
Since I've been playing that this week and enjoying it a lot, so that's my toast goes to them.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
Cool. Chris Davis.
Well, it's by sheer coincidence that you shared that rather unflattering picture of me on Friday. But the next day, I decided I would start a workout regimen, and so because of that, I have been in significant pain since yesterday afternoon to make that image go away. So, as I cannot work, as I have work tomorrow and I need to recover, I'm having a V8 thing, whatever. It smells fruity and it tastes good. But my toast goes to Visceral Games as well. I've been writing the review. In fact, I got the review done just before cocktail time tonight, so that should be going up tomorrow.
Nice. As for myself, I just have a shot of vodka here, but because of Friday's inhibitions and whatnot, I am also drinking V8 juice because it is time once again. I think another cleansing needs to happen. I might actually need a priest for this one.
Yeah. After Friday.
This particular cleansing. My toast is going to me, and I'll tell you why. My toast is going to me because a certain game is coming out on Tuesday by the name of Aliens Colonial Marines. And
never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a little thing. Yeah. I wrote a piece last week called "I'm Worried About Aliens Colonial Marines." Looking back, I probably could have gave it a title a little more zazz. But having said that, I've been going to NeoGAF, and people have been getting the game early and talking about it a little bit. And then I saw a whole bunch of playthroughs of the game, at least the first 2 levels. And then there's more walkthroughs than that on the internet. And I want to toast myself because I was right. And it feels good to be right. And I'm looking forward to being right on Tuesday.
See,
we'll talk about that a little
because of what you wrote and because of hearing all this stuff, I haven't looked at it because I don't want to get spoiled. Right. But I decided not to pre-order the game, so I've got it coming out on GameFly.
Yeah,
Carlos.
We did try to get a review copy, but we were denied. And I thought, well, I'll go and buy it. And then, from what I hear, the campaign is between 5 and 7 hours long. The main campaign.
Okay.
So I might just Redbox it that morning and then review it in the afternoon.
Is Redbox getting it?
The Redbox near my place is getting it.
Okay, I'll have to go check that out.
So I think that's my, that's what I'm going to be doing. So anyway, let us toast to Visceral and to me. 1,
to
2,
Joseph.
3.
Yes.
And I should toast to motherfucking Rasputin Stout, because that stuff is fucking strong. I should have known because people who have been listening to Cocktail Time for a long while will remember a certain Cocktail Time I did a bunch of years ago when the series first started, before we were doing it live and on video, where I was doing the show and I got super drunk and I actually fell back in my chair.
Yeah,
on the recording. And
I remember that one.
Yeah, that was another Rasputin Stout night. And for whatever reason, that stuff, it's 10% alcohol, and I think I forget, and I think on Friday I was just thirsty. So I just was downing them like crazy.
How many did you end up going through?
5.
That's pretty good.
Which, I mean, for regular beer is not that much, but for something that's like a 10% alcohol imperial stout, that's...
I had, I think Friday night I had 8 Budweisers and maybe a couple shots.
Yeah.
So that had me pretty shitty by the end of the night.
Yeah, and there's actually still one left in the fridge that I haven't touched yet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lay off.
Forbidden fruit now.
Forbidden fruit now. Yeah. Oh man. But I think, as Vunik had said in the chat, that Friday night, I think, brought us together as a community, because I think the entirety of the 4-player community got drunk that night.
Yeah, I think everybody that could did.
I think we were so inspirational to everyone watching. They were like, "My God, I need to start drinking to be part of this disaster."
Or start drinking to forget about it,
or just to deal with it. Yes, just to deal with what it is.
The coping mechanism.
Yes, exactly. So, all right, let's get into some impressions. Who wants to go first? It's open for.
I can go first.
All right, go for it, Bob. Since you normally don't play stuff, so having you,
I know this is awesome. Yeah. I actually beat.
Last couple of weeks, you've had stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I beat a game this week.
And which one?
I beat the Dead Space game. It's good.
The Dead Space game. Which one is the Dead Space?
Well, it's the one with the. I didn't understand. Like, people were complaining about universal ammo and like being on the planet, but it's just on a space station, and there's like
it's the one that takes place in space, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I didn't really get it was a really good game. I really like the storyline they picked up right after where I left off, and it was really fun. I like a lot of the components of it. It was really atmospheric. I love the atmosphere in space in that game. And it's just creepy because you'll hear people around, but you never see them.
So you're talking about Dead Space 2 is what you're talking about.
Oh shit! Did I play the wrong game?
You might have played.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
God damn it!
Your mom bought the game when you went to the Walmart.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, you played a pretty damn good game.
Yeah, it's great. I really liked it. It's I liked the callback to the Dead Space 1 ending in Dead Space 2.
Right.
Oh, that was pretty fucking good.
Yeah. But I really, really enjoyed it. And as soon as I put it down, I was like, man, I want to play more Dead Space. Mm-hmm. Which is why I was asking you about the Severed DLC, because that's so you were saying it was 2 chapters. Played from alternate.
It's a 2-chapter experience. It kind of recycles a few environments, to give a different perspective. Mm-hmm. But it's really good. It includes the stories of a couple characters from the side game, Dead Space Extraction.
Oh, right. And that's just the light shooter on Wii, right? Did they ever port it?
Yeah, they ported it to the Move on the PS3.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to buy the Move just to play one fucking game.
See, I already have a Move, and I never play it, so maybe I'll pick that up just for the fuck of it.
Yeah.
Supposedly it's pretty well done, too.
I remember getting decent reviews on the Wii, but it didn't sell very well just because hardcore.
Oh. Everyone quiet.
Yeah, you went quiet.
Yeah, sorry. So it didn't sell very well because I think quote-unquote hardcore games never really did very well on the Wii. It was a commercial disaster is what I'm saying.
Was it a rail shooter or what?
It was a rail light shooter, yeah. Well,
rail, it was not
a light shooter, but, use the motion control.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the the genre.
Light shooters don't work anymore with.
I believe if you bought the PS3 version of Dead Space 2 at launch, it came with a free copy of Extraction.
Oh, interesting.
So,
for the move?
Yeah.
Because that'd be weird if it was the Wii version.
you might
awkward.
Yeah.
We're gonna bundle a free copy of a game for another system.
Right. That's kind of what happened with God. What was that game that came bundled wrong? Oh, I forget. No, I don't know. I forget. Anyway,
Isn't there like rumors of like one of was there a Call of Duty or Black Ops games that shipped with the second disc was a Mass Effect?
That's what I was just thinking of. Yeah, it was Call of Duty Black Ops 2, where the second disc said Black Ops 2 on the disc, but when they put it in, it was actually Mass Effect 2.
That's
that's
amazing.
It's distribution companies' problems
because someone selected the wrong image when they're burning them.
Yeah, that's probably the way it happened. Yeah, they just you think the naming conventions would be different enough to where that wouldn't happen, but
Yeah.
Like one would actually say Mass Effect, but
yes.
But no, Dead Space 2 is a great game, and I was watching you play a bunch of it, and I was watching Brad play a bunch of it, and it's definitely a game I want to go back to. And I know we've had this conversation before, but Chris, you were saying I should go back and play it on hard with headphones, because I don't think I had my headphones at the time when I played. Can
you choose hard? Because I was on normal. I started a new game, and I put it on the hardest difficulty I could, and I think it was only normal. I think hard unlocks the second play. It's in the second playthrough.
No, I wasn't talking about Dead Space 2, Joseph. I was talking about Dead Space 3 in terms of difficulty.
No. We were talking about this before Dead Space 3 came out a while ago. This is a while ago.
Back like the 2011 awards?
Possibly back then, yeah. And you had said, you had told me that I didn't experience Dead Space 2 correctly, and then I needed to play on hard. And that it was much of a much better game that way.
I see you're well beyond my statute of limitations on remembering things. So
yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
you get 3 months and that's it. So
I specifically remember you saying that. So
I think I'm not too sure if I think you have to actually beat the game to unlock the hard difficulty on there.
Yeah, I think you have to beat the game to unlock the zealot difficulty
and the hardcore
and the hardcore.
Yep. Okay. Well, maybe you were telling me just to go back then.
Yeah, I think everybody should go back and play this game. It's a fantastic experience.
Yeah, it is. I had a great time, actually. And this time around, I did not have the engineering suit by, like, chapter 7.
Right. You
I was halfway,
upgraded.
or almost halfway, more than about halfway through the game. And I was still using the first suit.
Yeah.
Which is terrible.
Understandable.
That should be an achievement.
That should be an achievement. A complete fucking retard.
Yeah, complete fucking retard achievement.
Well, I think in Dead Space 1 there was an achievement to where you had to play through the entire game with just the plasma cutter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's an achievement for Dead Space 3 for like that, or using just the plasma cutter through the whole thing.
Not in 3.
Oh, maybe it's 2. Maybe it's 2.
Yeah, maybe it's 2.
Yeah.
I so far long ago.
I think 1's the only one with the plasma cutter thing.
No, they all have them.
I mean, like the achievement.
Oh, the achievement.
They're using it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, it's Dead Space 2 is a great game. We were talking, Chris and I were talking about that a little bit this weekend, because we played some Dead Space 3 co-op.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
And, I was suggesting that one of my complaints of Dead Space 3, we don't have to segue yet, but was that a lot of the environments just kind of look the same, at least at the point to where I'm at. And I understand that you're dealing with a lot of derelict spaceships and derelict, bases and whatnot, but they kind of all have that same feel, whereas in Dead Space 2, I thought the environments were much more varied. Things like the Unitarian church, or Unitarian temple that you go into, where it was just really gorgeous and visually stunning. And there's other areas that had a lot different stuff going on with them. And I'm just I feel like the environments in Dead Space 3 are just very bland in comparison. But,
Well, to a degree, I mean, I've beaten Dead Space 3 at this point, but, all 3 games have had recycled environments. And only in the optional content, really, in Dead Space 3 is there that much recycled content.
A lot of it. I mean, there's one specific area where I've been back to it 3 or 4 times now, for all of these optional missions. And it's like, wow, all these optional missions happen to take place in the same room I keep going back to. It is very strange.
There's optional missions in Dead Space 3?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of strange.
Well, they do some really cool stuff with it. I mean, you just sort of find clues, and you're given a prompt, and you're allowed to go and go and do these other activities. But when you're playing with a co-op partner, it was something that Chris and I experienced really quickly after we first started playing together. There's one mission in particular where we just finished off some enemies, and then all of a sudden Chris saw a woman on his screen, go away from the level, but I didn't see it on my screen. And the characters in the game reacted to it like that. And Chris was like, "Did you see that?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see that." So I start following Chris on this mission where he's seeing all of this stuff, all this supernatural stuff going on, only on his screen, but not mine. And it was his game's character having this sort of psychological breakdown of some sort.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool.
And Chris is like, "I can't believe you're not seeing this. It's like the elevator, there's blood coming down the walls, and there's children crying and women screaming." And I'm like, "I'm just in an elevator, dude. I don't know what you're talking about." And it was really neat. And I want, I definitely want to play the game more with someone else because I want to see if more of this stuff goes on. It was really quite ingenious. It's one of the better moments of the game I've played so far in its entirety, and I'm about 9 hours in, I think.
Yeah, the lack of Nicole from Dead Space 1 and 2 was kind of one of the things that I didn't enjoy, not having in Dead Space 3. Mm-hmm. But playing as Carver, the second character, mm-hmm. and experiencing all that from a different character's perspective, mm-hmm. it was pretty cool. I was really liking what they were doing.
Yeah.
The co-op mission we went on, so the premise behind the co-op missions is to give the player an idea of the Carver character and explore his kind of background and what the marker is using to influence him and make him go crazy. So in the mission we went on, the woman I saw was actually Carver's dead wife.
Oh, okay.
You have to remember, everybody watching at home, I'm the only one who saw this. Joseph saw none of this shit, okay?
Right. Yeah.
So I follow the directions of this woman, and I go to the door, and we go down to this one area, and Carver starts tripping balls. And we're going down the elevator, and there's pictures of the mother and son, and they're hugging on the wall, and you hear the conversation with Carver. And all of a sudden, you start hearing screaming, and the eyes of the characters start fading out to black, and there's blood, and there's hissing. It's like, what the fuck is going on, man? and Joseph's seeing none of this. I'm freaking out. Joseph's seeing none of this.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Joseph should have taken some acid before you.
Maybe. I really want to see what they do with Isaac now. If I keep on playing with someone, am I going to have some of those experiences, or can they do more of that? And I think we were talking about this last cocktail time about how the pop in, pop out nature of the co-op partner, it could really play into the fact that Isaac is sort of psychologically damaged, and perhaps this person he's with is just the co-op partner is a figment of his imagination. Which would make total sense, and maybe there's stuff you can do with that, and the fact that sometimes you're solo and sometimes you're with someone would make that sort of work into that metagame idea,
No, we haven't played through the co-op all the way, so we can't. I can't throw out that possibility, right. But the way the ending works, it doesn't make sense. So I can't say that's definitively what's going to happen.
Right. So back to Dead Space 2, though. So Bob, what was your overall impression of the game itself? Because you did play Dead Space 1, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I beat. I played Dead Space 1 on the PS3, and I really enjoyed it. So I ended up game flying Dead Space 2, and ended up just buying it. And my first playthrough, I think I got to a point where, obviously, because I missed the armor, and I wasn't used to stomping on corpses to get equipment and gear out of them, or get a little extra more ammo or health packs and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't really. I got to a point where I was just like, I'm getting killed way too quickly. I have no money, no health, no ammo,
right.
And have a shitty suit of armor that apparently I missed the better armor with.
You were just horribly under-equipped.
Oh, absolutely. And by the same point on my second playthrough, my store box was full of like medium med kits. I had ridiculous numbers of power nodes and just money up the ass. Like I could buy anything I wanted. Mm-hmm. And it was just because I just trained myself to stomp on guys and get the money and just kind of explore everything. And that was the same thing I did. Like I explored on my first playthrough. I explored everything, but apparently I missed the one power or the newer I guess power suit or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. But I didn't stomp on the bodies.
Oh, see, you'll double your inventory just by doing that.
Yeah. So, and it's as soon as I was stomping on the bodies and selling all the shit I didn't need or storing all the stuff that I would use eventually later, my survivability went way up. I had a lot of money. I had a lot of health. I had a lot of ammunition by the end. So it was just that one thing changed the game entirely from being like, oh shit, this is really difficult. Because after coming off of Dead Space 1, you don't stomp on things. There's no stompy. You just go and you fire a gun at them. Do they drop the ammo? Like
they do, yeah,
by themselves.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
When you kill them, the ammo pops out or whatever.
Right.
Sometimes it depends on the enemy, actually.
Oh, okay,
that's true. I think some of them don't. That and actually, I really got used to using the telekinesis ability to pull up various sharp impalements and kill things with that, and that really helped a lot. And using my stasis a lot, I think is because in the first game, your telekinetic ability with the whatever glove thing cost power, right?
Yeah. So you can use it much more liberally in 2.
It's unlimited in the second game. Yeah. I think they realized that it's a fun ability, but it's way too restricted.
Right.
And that I'm glad they opened that up a lot because actually you end up using the TK ability a ton to solve various puzzles or whatnot in the second game. Mm-hmm. You used it a little bit in the first game, but the second one, a lot of kind of secrets were hidden behind. Either you had to lift up a bunch of boxes to get behind it, or you had to grab an item across a chasm.
Right.
Stuff like that. So it was really kind of neat. Like they explored, and then kind of lifting the restriction, they were able to explore the use of it a lot more.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I'm so interested I think you should almost play Dead Space 3 immediately. Because
I was thinking about picking it up on GameFly if it's available. I might even just go buy it, depending on what you guys think of it. If you guys think it's worth a buy, then I'll absolutely go pick it up tomorrow.
We'll get that in a minute, but I think more so because it's the stuff you're telling me about Dead Space 2, it reminds me of just how different a game it is from Dead Space 3.
It's so bad.
I'll tell you, just to segue real quick, my overall thought on Dead Space 3 so far, being about 9 hours in, is that I am enjoying it as a game, but I'm enjoying it in an entirely different way than I've enjoyed other Dead Space games.
Yeah.
I'm almost enjoying it the same way I enjoyed Binary Domain, in a weird way. I mean, it's not as kooky and it's not as like crazy and off the wall and cheesy as Binary Domain is, because that's sort of what makes that game so entertaining. Dead Space takes itself very seriously, but in terms of its shooting mechanics, it's very much action oriented. And I guess I only say Binary Domain is because in shooting the necromorphs in Dead Space 3 is a lot like shooting the robots in Binary Domain.
Yeah, because their limbs, they're very responsive.
They're even more responsive in Dead Space 3. Like in Dead Space 3, like it's like the enemies are made of paper mache and bacon. And like things are just flying off and their arms are flying off and like there's weird physics, so like if you shoot them while they're jumping, they'll flip around in the air all over the place, and of course if you use stasis, they're doing it in slow motion. So there's this really cool like visceral, as much as I hate using that word, like visceral feedback to shooting things in Dead Space 3, but it's not Dead Space. It's a wholly different beast. It's basically a third person shooter.
Right. Yeah, cover based third person shooter.
And I wouldn't even say it's cover based.
It's really not.
You don't need to use the cover, and using the cover is so awkward that you're better off just not even trying.
Why do they have it?
It's mainly
check down the list. Cover, multiplayer, online pass.
Yeah.
No, it's mainly for just the human combat that you can experience in the game, which doesn't happen very often. And in fact, I would argue that the unitologist enemies you have to fight just express how much more deadly the necromorphs are.
Right.
A majority of the human encounters actually have necromorphs attacking in them as well. So it's just a contrast that doesn't harm the game at all.
It really doesn't.
You don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think as much as people were bitching about the fact that you're fighting these other people who are shooting guns, there isn't a lot of it. And most of the time when you do it, they're fighting necromorphs, and you just kind of hold back and let them kind of take each other out.
That's nice. I'd rather not interact with them.
Yeah,
I'm very antisocial in these games.
Yes, yeah.
I don't want to interact with other people. I just want to kill the monster.
So it's not done in a horrible way. It's wholly unnecessary to a degree, but it's also not done in a terrible way. And maybe it is. It's more of like they almost come across as more like story cutscenes because they require very little of your input.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I like the fact that there are human opponents logically for the story in the game, but it's not a detriment.
Exactly.
So you shouldn't have a problem with it.
Which actually surprised me because I almost figured that would be my number one problem with it was going to be those sections, and then when I started playing them, I realized, like I said, there are just not that many. So
yeah, if it was like 50% fighting humans, then that would just be retarded.
Nowhere near. I mean, we're talking 5%.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad they kept it that way. Yeah, it's and like with the universal ammo thing, I was because that's another big part of Dead Space 3. As I was playing Dead Space 2, I know Brad was saying something like this last podcast, is that you don't really feel like you can or should explore the other guns because you have a very limited inventory space, and just carrying the guns takes up an inventory slot, and then additionally carrying the ammo for them takes up ridiculous numbers of inventory slots. It can take up to 1 to 3 inventory slots per gun, depending on how much ammo you have on it.
Right. Well,
and if you have 4 guns, that's 12 slots.
Well, here's the thing: it's like the weapon crafting system is very cool and it's very neat, wholly unnecessary. You never really need to use it. I mean, it's good for upgrading the gun you have, and the gun, but I say gun because I've been using the same gun through the entire game. I never felt the need to go and craft new weapons because it's done everything I've needed it to do.
So with the weapon crafting, is it just like the standard? Because Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2 have the exact, as far as I remember, the exact same weapon upgrade system.
No, it's totally different.
There are nodes on the map. You do there's capacity, damage, duration, or whatever bullshit.
There's no nodes anymore.
Right.
Yeah, they completely get rid of that upgrade system.
Yeah.
Huh. So what does the weapon crafting system look like?
You're collecting resources, which you find out in the world. There's like a whole bunch of different types.
They completely got rid of the currency in the game.
Yeah, the currency is now all this stuff you find. And sometimes you find boxes of different stuff. The main currency is scrap metal. Everything requires a bit of scrap to upgrade stuff or build weapons. But then you also find weapon parts in the world. And there's an upper part, a lower part, there's a frame, and then there's multiple attachments, and then there's also upgrade chips you can find. And you basically, you just mix and match all these parts like a toy where you can just put different stuff on it and see what it does, which is, it's a neat system and it's really cool. And I think it would be fun if I took some time and experimented, but to play the game never makes you feel like it's something you need to do, which in a way is good because that system is also directly related to the microtransaction system, which again, I've been finding enough stuff in the world through liberal use of these little robot things you find. And just sort of exploring that I never felt the need to buy anything. But you also just, like I said, never feel the need to really experiment. And like when I was playing with Chris, I was waiting for him. He was taking a break and I was looking through the guns and I was like, wow, there's like a flamethrower and a Bola's gun. Like this is all kind of cool stuff. And like, this is the first time 8 hours in that I'm actually paying attention to it. I'm actually looking at it because I'd never felt the need to, I upgraded my weapon to the point to where I have like 8 chips in it that do +1 or +2 damage and +1 or +2 clip size. So I'm just like blowing things away. No problem. And I'll tell you, on normal with another player, this game is pretty damn easy. Like
it's balls easy on hard.
Yeah, I mean, I am swimming in ammo and health packs. Like my entire inventory is filled with nothing but ammo and health packs. I never feel like I've stopped stomping on crates, and I instead shoot them because stomping takes more time, and I don't have to worry about wasting ammo. So I'm not like, fuck it, I'm just going to shoot the crates because it's faster than stomping on them. Like, that's how much ammo I have. And then you can craft your own ammo at the workbenches. So if you don't have enough, even though your inventory is full and you have the resources, you can just crank out ammo as much as you need. Or ammo, or like health packs or whatever.
It's fucking nuts.
This is an action game. It is 100% an action game.
With the weapon upgrade system and the crafting system, I guess, are there base weapons you have and then you modify them, or is it like you create a new weapon on your own?
Well, both. You can do both. You do find you do find base weapons. If you bought the limited edition, you get a few weapons, and
but you can also find blueprints for various weapons in the game, and you can just craft them immediately, or you can try and build them your own.
Right.
So if you know how to build it on your own, you can actually build it on your own without finding a schematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can just mix and match stuff and experiment.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, like I said, it's a neat system, but it never feels like it's necessary. You know, it's there for the fun factor. And probably for the microtransaction factor, but I feel like it wasn't really integrated into the gameplay in such a way that it makes you feel like, oh my god, there's this boss coming up, so I need to go and make the best gun I can. Yeah, because the gun you have is probably going to be good enough.
Well, I was thinking and again, like with Dead Space 1 and 2, they've always made it so you can handle any situation with any gun you have, but there are certainly guns that are better for different situations. Like in thinking about this whole weapon crafting system, I would have like a gun that can do, distant accurate shooting for either hitting weak points or just hitting enemies far away. Right. I would want one that's got tough limbs. I would want one that doesn't any damage. Having something that does really good at maybe the alternate fire. It's like the line gun. Right. The alternate fire, and that just fucks everything.
Yeah,
these are the types of things I would be looking into crafting a weapon. But if it's never necessary and it's never difficult enough where you actually need to craft good weapons in order to survive, then I can totally see your point. There's no kind of direction to force you to go do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how you'd want a long range and a short range, and to that end, I mean, I have the Evangelizer weapon, which was a limited edition thing that I got, and the main weapon is a sort of a long range rifle that every time you pull the trigger, it fires, and then the bottom part, which is fired with the right bumper, is a shotgun. Right. And there's my long range and there's my short range, and that's all I've needed.
Yeah, that's kind of.
So
kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean,
mine is the upper part is a contact beam, which is traditionally the most powerful weapon in the Dead Space universe. And the other is a rivet shotgun that fires spikes out of enemies and takes out groups pretty well.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So how much freedom do you have in the whole weapon crafting system? Is it like you can choose a basic projectile type, and then you can choose like a projectile kind of delivery?
Yeah,
well, it depends on a couple combinations. It depends on the frame you're working with. So you got to have you got to have a heavy or a compact frame, and then you got to have like the primary drive core. So you've got like a plasma or a Tesla or a military or whatever,
right?
And then that's altered based on the weapon tip you use. So depending on what that was, it can be a rifle, it can be a shotgun, it can be a plasma cutter, it can be whatever. And then you got to attach the lower portion, which could be anything, and then you got your two different weapons, or one weapon that's really souped up. So,
right. and then you have a couple of attachments you can use. And so, for instance, one of the attachments I have on puts a little bit of stasis in all of my shots. So as I'm shooting enemies, they're actually going into stasis effect and slowing down, which is really useful.
That's OP.
Yeah, because some of these things that run at you, I'm just shooting them, And then
that's so stupid.
And then my other one,
why is that an option? That's so stupid.
Well, it's like 1/10 of the power of an actual stasis shot. So
but still, you keep shooting
a lot, but it's enough to make an effect.
Yeah, it definitely has some effect. And then my other attachment is sort of a ammo expander, which works for both you and your co-op partner.
Yeah.
What?
So. Yeah.
And there's also a damage expander that does the same thing.
Right. Just in case you didn't have enough ammo.
You can have more ammo.
You can have more ammo because, fuck it.
Yeah.
It's Dead Space 3 is not survival horror. It's survival.
Yeah.
Basically. There is no real horror. As for the game...
Wait, is there any really survival then? Because you don't...
No.
There's no limited resources.
There are no limited resources.
Part of the survival formula is limited resources.
The only inventory sort of management that you'll be doing is I better drop all these health packs because I want to pick up this other extra thing of ammo.
That's entirely the truth.
I'm literally throwing away health packs because I have too many of them, and I can't fit all of the other things I want to carry.
So do the materials, like the scrap and the components for these weapons, do they take up the same inventory slots as everything else, or are they kind of an alternate inventory?
No, so when you first pick them up, they do take up inventory spaces, but then when you bring them to a workbench, they get dumped out of your inventory and then just live in the workbench. And
right, like when you pick up a schematic or something.
Exactly. So then when you're using your gun, that's its own thing. That doesn't affect your inventory. That would be cool.
So equipping a gun doesn't affect inventory?
No, those are separate slots.
Yeah,
I thought that was the way it worked with Dead Space.
No, I think they've
Dead Space 2, the guns were not actually taking up inventory slots.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great to where, sure, yes, you can have this really big badass gun with these tons of attachments, but every attachment is going to fill up an inventory space, and that's one more clip of ammo or one more health pack you can't carry. And that's kind of how I use it, but that's how Black Ops 2 does it. Where you have a certain amount of points to make up your character, and you can't go beyond that. And I think that would be a good balancing effect if sure, you can have all these attachments on your gun, but then you can't carry anything else. Just this one giant
You're going to carry one clip of ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
But you fire it once and everything dies.
Exactly. Yeah, the planet explodes.
Yeah.
But
the I win button.
Yeah, but that balance isn't there. It's just sure you can have this giant mega gun that does all this cool stuff, and here's 12 health packs and 12 clips of ammo that hold 20 shots each for you. So don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah, I'm still interested in because I like the mechanics of the game. I like the stories behind it.
Well, the thing is, it's still fun.
It's still Dead Space.
No, it's not Dead Space, but it's fun.
Well, okay, yes, but in story, is it still kind of Dead Space?
Yeah, it's it's the same thing, and they're trying to stop the markers, and Isaac,
as always, the markers.
Isaac is looking more haggard, and there's a love triangle, which is really weird. There's this guy. I don't want to do any story spoilers, but there's a love triangle, and there's another guy who's a total dick to you. And I swear to God, it's there's necromorphs coming out of the walls, and spaceships are blowing apart, and the world is ending. And he's like, dude, why are you talking to my girlfriend?
Yeah.
Wait, so is it Isaac in love with a girl who's in love with this dude, and the dude's in love with Isaac?
No, that would be cool. No. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to watch.
That'd be really interesting.
But no, it's this guy is throwing these jealous fits about Isaac when there's the end of the world approaching, and maybe there are douchebags like that in the world, but it seems to not really fit the narrative at all.
Right,
and it kind of comes out of nowhere. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Well, I think that actually kind of ties into what's going on with Carver in the story.
You think so? I don't know much about Carver.
Because Carver's hallucinating a bunch of the game, evidently. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking Norton is too, and that's heightening his, fears and jealousies over Isaac and Ellie's previous relationship.
So you're saying you think it's part of the marker, the marker's making him do it? Okay, you know what? That would make more sense. But I wish they made him come off a little more kooky then, because he just comes off as a traditional douchebag. I guess the character isn't playing very well to that.
More traditional douchebag, less crazy douchebag.
Yeah, but I do like your explanation, and that actually, when I go back to finish the game, I'll keep that in mind, and that might make the character make a little more sense. So.
Oh, yeah, you're getting to a pretty good part with Norton. So
okay, well, good. I haven't played much since we stopped the other night, so I haven't gone much further.
Oh, so you haven't explored the Nexus?
No, I don't know. I have not explored.
Oh, you're about to have a time.
Okay, I haven't played since we stopped, so
okay,
that's good. So Chris, your review is coming out next week.
Mm-hmm.
But what can you tell us here on Cocktail Time, sort of about your overarching feelings of the game?
I really enjoyed Dead Space 3. It's a good game. It definitely makes me excited for the future of the franchise because EA and Visceral have said very loudly that this is not the last Dead Space game.
Of course not. It would never be.
Yeah. No.
Not until sales dip enough, then they'll stop them.
But no, I'm looking forward to what's coming. There's only one real large complaint I have about this game.
Mm-hmm.
And you can read it in my review, but I'll sum it up here. It's the way they handle the suits this time around.
Okay.
Now, in Dead Space 1 and 2, getting a suit was a pretty fucking cool thing because you could upgrade.
It's a big-ass upgrade.
It's a big-ass upgrade in terms of armor. Sometimes the suits have, like, bonus stat effects and stuff like that.
Yep.
It really added kind of like a small RPG element of the game,
yeah.
Especially when you consider upgrading your rig. Well, the way they handle it this time around is that their armor factor now applies to your rig. It does not apply to the suit you're wearing.
Right.
Oh.
So you can actively upgrade that over time. But in doing so, you completely negate any reason for wanting to explore or use any particular suit in the game.
Do you know why?
In fact, wait, why?
DLC.
No, they
not the DLC. No. The way it works
is you can buy other suits, right?
No,
you can't buy any suits.
No?
You don't buy any suits in this game.
Bob, they give you like 7 suits throughout the game.
They give it to you.
Like
they just give it to you. Then I would expect them to like fucking piece this shit out
at regular intervals. They give
you want
it
a suit?
to
It's
you,
$5.
Yeah, at regular interviews, it just says new suit unlocked, and it's an aesthetic thing. It makes no difference what suit you're wearing. It's like there's one suit you get that makes a difference in the Arctic and in the cold planet. But what's really funny is after you get through a certain section, you can just wear any suit you want, and it doesn't matter anymore.
In that particular suit, the reason why that was necessary was because you lost your helmet. What happened previously. So you're freezing to death because you don't have a fucking helmet, okay? Right. So once you get a new suit, you get a new helmet, boom, you're fine.
And you can wear any suit you want, and it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't make any difference, really.
So, I mean, there's absolutely no incentive to trying to unlock and find new suits. There's no reason to change your base suit at all in the game.
Right.
Weird. That kind of sucks. I was expecting, like, the whole reason to be behind of, like, well, if you bought this if you pre-ordered from GameStop, you got a fucking Chuck E. Cheese suit or something like that.
Well, even if you do, it's completely aesthetic. You know?
Right? Yeah. Because if you make the suits aesthetic, then people don't feel like, well, I pre-ordered at Best Buy and my suit's not as good as the other suit that they pre-ordered from Joe's Hardwares or whatever bullshit.
So basically, if you play Dead Space 3 the way you started to play Dead Space 2, you'd be fine.
That would be completely fine.
No problem.
There's no retard achievement. It's
no problem.
I can't even say retard. It's a retard.
And then also when you upgrade suits, you upgrade them not through nodes, because remember they got rid of nodes. You upgrade them with the resources you've been just building up. So multiple times throughout the game, you're just like click, 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 upgrade this, click, 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 upgrade that, and it's just and Chris is right. The idea of I need to find this new suit, and you find it, and it's like finding it almost has this like Metroid feel to it. It's like wow, I can do all this cool stuff, and it completely gone. That's just completely gone.
It is.
Sucks. Because they were part of and even through the New Game Plus, you unlocked more suits. Like you could find more suits throughout the environment. And if you didn't know where they were, if you weren't looking for them, you wouldn't find them.
Right.
I mean, you don't find one of the best suits in Dead Space 2 until you've completed nearly your second run through the game.
Yeah, it's the advanced security or advanced
the elite advanced suit.
Elite advanced suit. Yeah.
Which is the one that's on the cover, and it's the most badass suit of the game.
It's
awesome.
The advanced suit looks fucking awesome, and it's great. I love, and also like you were saying, each suit gives you a different kind of advantage. Like there's the classic suit, is what it's called, or legacy suit, or no, it's vintage suit.
Vintage suit, okay.
And that gives you a 10% discount at stores.
Okay.
When you're buying it.
Right.
Yeah. And then the security suit increases the damage you do with your pulse rifle or whatever. The advanced suit, I think, what does that do?
The elite advanced suit gives you a 15% boost to stasis duration and a 10% damage boost.
Mm-hmm. I think the advanced suit is stasis duration as well.
Oh, and one more thing that'll piss you off about the suits. You already have a preset 25 item limit in your entire game. So
you don't increase your inventory size at all.
It doesn't increase the inventory size. Has no effect on that.
Yeah.
So basically, item management is not an issue in this game.
Yeah, it's just the suits are just Barbie doll stuff. It's just aesthetic. I want to look like this.
Fucking stupid.
I wish they kept that aspect from the first two games, because that was one of the best things about finding those suits.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's sad. I really hope if and when they make a Dead Space 4, they kind of go back to their origins a little, because some of the shit they cut out seems like there really is no reason to, and it kind of.
But you know what? That's a pipe dream, because I'm looking at scores. Yeah. I'm seeing 9.75. I'm seeing millions of copies sold. No, Game Informer gave it 9.75. They're not like, this worked out for them, so this is the direction they're going to be going. Like, this is it. Like, so I mean, for instance, remember when I was watching Chris play the demo, and I commented. I said, "How come when you're in iron sights, you move faster when you're aiming, you're moving faster than you're walking?" That seems so strange. I mean, he's in this snow-driven storm. It's like, oh, his hand is up. He can't get through it. But if you aim, he just like, I'm just walking through, no problem. Then you stop aiming. He's like, oh, the snow, the horrible snow, the whiteness blasting my eyeballs. Oh, let me aim. Oh, no problem. And it's because this is an action-oriented game. It's so that you can use it as sort of iron sights, and you can just stay aimed and then move around really fast. No, you move faster than you walk when you aim. It's just
that sounds like a bug to me.
No, it's not a bug. It's not. It's so that you can aim faster when you're you can move faster when you're aiming, because it's an action oriented game now. That's what it is. But you know what? I'm enjoying it. I'm just not enjoying it like I enjoyed Dead Space. And the cover system is horrible. It's wholly unnecessary. But I almost feel like they realized that at some point, and they just made it so it wouldn't be necessary. Have you noticed the human enemies you're fighting are a really bad shot?
They're bad shots.
They're stormtrooper
really
shot.
They're 100% stormtrooper shots, and I think they did that because they realized, oh my god, yeah, this cover system sucks. We can't.
The players would be slaughtered.
Yeah,
and the only time they're a threat is very, very late in the game, when they actually give a few of them a rocket launcher. Mm-hmm. But you can actually kinesis the rocket and launch it back at them. Oh,
okay. I haven't gotten that far yet.
So.
But yeah, so that's Dead Space 3 so far. So, how was the ending, Chris? Don't tell me the ending, but open-ended?
A little bit, yeah. Like in Dead Space 2, it has an after the credits moment.
Okay.
So, there's they don't explain everything about the markers. There's still a bunch more in the universe they could explore.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm hopeful. I'm thinking Dead Space 4 is really going to kind of amp up the story next time around.
I hope so.
Did they ever explain what a convergence event it was?
Yes, they do.
Okay, good, because that's the one question I had from Dead Space 2 that they didn't answer.
Oh yeah, I was like wondering what the fuck was that, and when they finally reveal what convergence is, it's like, oh fuck,
yeah,
that
is not a good thing at all.
Right. I don't know.
I might actually have to play it just for that.
Yeah, I'll say another thing that really bothered me. I mentioned this to Chris when we were playing co-op. Is that Dead Space does that Dead Space 3 does that Resident Evil thing now, to where anytime a new enemy shows up, like they have to swing the camera away from the player and give it this cinematic reveal, so you can get a good close-up look at it, and it's so it rips you out, and it makes it. I mean, it doesn't make it any scarier. Like, one of the scariest moments I've experienced in Dead Space, it was in the first game, and it's at the beginning of Chapter 8. And it's the very beginning, and you come out of the elevator area, and there's these 2 wall mutation guys on the sides of this door, and you kill them, and it's kind of a pain. And I'm having a problem in the original Dead Space anyway because I spread out my stuff too much, so I'm always like under-equipped and underperforming. And I at that point, so I kill those 2, and then I go through the center door, and there's a light flickering at the end, and then just stepping around the corner at me is this, and they only show up a few times, but the really thin, slender man looking, necromorphs.
They're the ones when you kill, they turn into like a little little blob things.
No, they turn into
dividers.
Dividers, and they turn turn into like all these daddy long legs. And I was like, oh my god! And it totally freaked me the fuck out. I got my hair raised all down my arms. It was oh my god! It was awful. And if in that scene they had pulled the camera away and gave it this big reveal as it came around the corner, and I was like, whoa! Like it would have totally destroyed.
Absolutely.
The idea of that scene, the whole idea of the scene is like, what the fuck is that? So
yeah, definitely a couple times. Like the first time I saw a new enemy type in Dead Space 2, especially I think over on Friday I was playing it a little bit before broadcasting. I would just be like, you'd hear these noises coming out, and sometimes you're not even looking the direction they come out. Right. That's the creepy part, because you don't know where you can hear something, but you don't really know where it is. You can tell sometimes, like, oh, it's off to my right, but I don't know if it's around this corner, if it's like right fucking behind me. Right. And you'll turn, and it'll be running at you. Mm-hmm. And it terrified Tara so much, she ended up like biting the inside of her cheek, like almost piercing it from her 2 canines.
You're talking about the raptor enemy. Hold on, I got it.
Oh god,
I never remember what it's called. I can never remember.
Yeah, the guys that kind of peek around the corners and then run at you. Yeah, those guys are creepy as fuck.
And
they scream when they run at you too. That's
Oh yeah, and they are in Dead Space 3 as well.
Yeah.
Oh nice. That's because those were probably my most. Those were my bane. I hated those out of everything else.
Oh, I fucking hated those. But the worst enemy in the entire series for me is back in a vengeance in Dead Space 3. It's the Ubermorph. You remember that one? The one that can constantly regenerate. You can't fucking kill it.
I had to deal with that fucker yesterday.
Yes.
There was one of them in Dead Space 1. There was one of them in Dead Space 2. Mm-hmm. There's at least 5 or 6 in Dead Space 3. And you can't fucking kill them.
Yeah.
Well, you can slow them down.
No, well, yeah, but I mean, at least there was in Dead Space 1 2 a cinematic way to actually fucking kill them. You can't do that in Dead Space 3.
Could you kill them too?
Yeah. Towards the very end of the game, when you're getting chased by it, there's one long hallway. Door. Yeah. There's a long hallway with a fan in it, and if you could force him back into it, it'll cut him up and destroy him.
Mm. Oh shit! I completely missed that. I was just running from that fucker over my life.
Yeah, I didn't learn about that until like yesterday, which blew my mind. But I mean, there is a scene in Dead Space 3 that has you being chased by like 3 or 4 of them. And it's fucking terrifying.
Is it the one? Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. It's the one that's in the storage facility areas.
It was oh my god. Yeah. Okay, I see one behind that glass. He looks like he wants to get out. Eventually, I'm going to come back in here and he's going to burst out. No, I keep walking, and there's one. Okay, he's chasing me. I can survive. There's 2 more and they're bursting out. Oh, fuck. And all of a sudden there's another. So I've got 4 of these fuckers chasing me. It's scaring the shit out of me.
Right.
Yeah.
that scene as well, when you first have to deal with one of those and you're waiting for the tram to show up after you repair the tram, and you're dealing with one of those, and more necromorphs are coming as well, and you basically have to run around the room killing necromorphs, and then every once in a while just making sure the ubermorph is not out of stasis yet, and keep on.
Yeah.
What I do is I blow out their legs and then stasis them, and then it takes them a while to get out of stasis and then to grow back, so it sort of tends to work longer. But that scene in itself was, oh my god, that was a pain. It took me 2 or 3 tries to get done.
Yeah. But almost every single enemy in the Dead Space series is in Dead Space 3.
Yeah.
Not counting the bosses. They took out the giant brutes and replaced them with something else, which I can't tell you about because it's kind of a spoiler for the game. And the divider is not in there except for the head. So, other than those two, I mean, it's pretty much the whole fucking roster. Even the fucking Twitchers are back. So
Twitchers. What are the Twitchers?
The Twitchers were introduced in Dead Space 1. They were in the Severed DLC for Dead Space 2, but not in the core game.
Okay.
But they're basically the really fast ones that are twitching, and you have to stasis in order to slow them down to normal speed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, I remember those.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was pretty much how they introduced the stasis mechanic in Dead Space 1. Because they were like, oh, hey, you need to slow these fuckers down.
No, the Twitchers were introduced late into the game in Dead Space 1.
Oh, the feeders are new, correct?
The feeders are new. I do like them. They're an interesting enemy.
Yeah, I like them.
So the basic idea behind the feeder is that they're humans that actually ate necromorph.
Oh, I think we just lost.
Imagine like this demonic Richard Geiger version of a picture of an Ethiopian child. Okay, that's the best way I can describe it.
That's a good way to put it.
They're basically blind. So they're actually an enemy you can actually sneak past and not have to fight. But if you get spotted by them, there may be one or two in the room right then, but they call in their buddies, and that's like at least a dozen more. And they're really easy to kill, but they run at you like the little kid necromorphs in Dead Space 2. So it's a pretty fucking intense moment.
Yeah, they're pretty neat. I mean, you don't have to fight them, but, you know, Dead Space 3 is an easy game, so you might as well just fight them and get the extra loot for the most part.
So you can immediately discard it for...
Yeah, Chris, we were playing together, and Chris was like, you know, you can just sneak by with those. And I'm like, why bother? Boom, 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 boom.
And the entire time, he said that the first time, I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to start some shit.
Oh, man. All right, let's do this real quick. Let's take a quick break. It's about 9 o'clock. And then we'll come back, and we'll talk about more video games. We're back in a minute.
I need more to drink.
Everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Cocktail Time here at 4Player Network. I want to thank everybody for watching us at home over at 4pp.tv.
And we are not a porn site.
We are not a porn site. We apparently need to keep reminding everyone of this fact that we are not a porn site, even though we keep on showing, samples of the otherwise. But thanks everyone for watching at 4pp.tv. Definitely thanks to our subscribers. Subscribing to our channel on Twitch costs about $4.99 a month. Really helps us keep alive what we do here at 4Player Network. We have server costs and all that kind of stuff, and we basically make no money from ads. So our subscribers really help us to keep our lights on and the doors open. People like Ada Gemma.
You never can actually say
No, I nailed it. I nailed that one. I nailed it.
Let me try.
Okay.
Adjembrug.
Almost. There's more Gemans in it. So it's more...
Adjemanjabrug.
That's closer, yeah. It's more like Adjemanjabrug.
Okay.
Nailed it. And people like Big Boss Likes Cheeseburgers, Liz6005, Time Surfer, Self Torment, Sensia Shepherd, all the rest. Thanks, you guys, for subscribing to us and being part of the 4Player Network yourselves. So, all right. So hour two. We got to talk a little bit about Aliens Colonial Marines, because this is a thing. This is a thing that's happening on Tuesday, like a barreling train coming down. It's like a barreling
Batman that smells cheeseburgers.
Well, it's like a barreling train of shit about to hit a brick wall.
Well, I'm talking about the morning after.
Oh, I see. So anyway, I wrote an article about Aliens Colonial Marines on the site a couple of weeks ago, talking about my concerns of the game. Things having to do with the tone of the game, the sound, and this was before I really saw any, but just going by Gearbox's track record and going by what I've seen so far. I know a lot of that was sort of the marketing, and you can put some of that blame on PR, but sometimes when PR only has so much to work with, there's only so much they can do.
Yeah.
But I tried to be... Go ahead.
I was going to say, it was my sweat on the podcast on Tuesday, so well, I've been looking for this game, but I'm really worried based on the marketing.
Well, I tried to be as fair as I could, even admitting, in the article itself that, yeah, maybe some of this is just marketing and it's just a bad view of the game. Well, I've been paying attention to a certain NeoGAF thread about the game, and people who have already been playing it this past weekend. If you know, the street date was broken by Australia. EB Games in Australia broke the street date, so it actually is available there since Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And subsequent playthroughs have been put up on the internet, and I tell you, it's looking pretty bad. It looks pretty bad. I wouldn't say Duke Nukem Forever bad.
Oof, that's a harsh comparison, but I guess the same studio.
Yeah, that might
but they weren't really necessarily fully responsible for that.
No, they weren't. They weren't. But we're talking, xenomorphs that die quickly, acid blood that does hardly any damage, really poor textures, screen tearing like I've never seen. Screen tearing like I've never seen. Like screen tearing during cutscenes like I've never seen in my life.
What?
Bad animations. Looking at the game, it's so unpolished. And
man,
at this point, I'm looking forward to either hoping that there's a huge day one patch that gets released that fixes a lot of this stuff, or two, that there's a really good postmortem on Game of Sutra, because I really want to find out what the fuck happened with this game.
Yeah.
I implore anyone who is looking to pick up Aliens Colonial Marines to go to YouTube and look up the walkthroughs and look up the gameplay videos before you plunk down $60.
Let me look, see if I can find this. I got to see the screen tearing.
Yeah, if you can pull some up. There's one particular which is like level. It's called like Aliens Colonial Marines level 1 playthrough, and if you start from about 418, that's where the cutscene really starts, and it's really amazing how bad it is.
There's playthrough part 1.
Maybe that's the one.
I'm gonna try level 1.
Try level 1, but yeah, I mean, I'm here for you guys. I'm here for the gamers, and what's really funny is that if I was given a review copy by Sega and contractually, had to stick to their embargo, I probably couldn't tell you any of this right now.
Yeah, you won't be able to.
I am simply going by what I've seen of the walkthrough videos that are freely available on the internet and what people have been saying on forums. I have not played it firsthand, but it's pretty scary. Did you find it?
Yeah, I think I found it. I'm not seeing any screen share yet.
418. If you go to 418, there should be a sort of a. It starts the cutscene and stuff.
Yeah, there's cutscenes going. I don't know if this is on. I wonder. It's probably also affected upon which system you played on.
Well, only
I imagine if it's
console.
PC.
The PC's locked away because.
True. Yeah, it's got to be a console.
So these are consoles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry, but I can't watch them because I don't want to be spoiled.
You don't want to explode?
I don't want to be spoiled.
Oh, spoiled.
What's going on? So I've been looking forward to this game since like 2008, so...
Well, you know what? You're going to have something to talk about next week.
Yeah.
I will say there's... In a lot of the game, you're fighting people, not aliens.
What?
Yes.
What? You're shitting me, right?
And you can get a silencer for your pulse rifle.
You're not. No, you're making a joke. You're making a joke for a reference to Dead Space 3, aren't you?
You can get a red dot sight and a camo silencer for your pulse rifle.
No.
Stop it, Joseph.
No, I swear to you.
No, you're just this is lies.
And you rank up as you're going, and it pops up rank 3, and you gain.
No,
ranks.
God damn it, Joseph.
No, I swear to God, you're gonna think I'm kidding. But you're gonna put that fucking game in your console, and you're gonna see.
You better be fucking joking.
You better be fucking.
You better be kidding, because this just sounds like it's so ridiculous. I can't believe it.
Chris, if you want to go and pay your $60 before looking this up or taking my word for it, you just go. You go right ahead. You get on that horse and you just ride on down the road.
I feel Joseph.
The person I feel most bad for is Carlos. Because he bought the collector's edition. Oh shit, am I still connected?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So everything went quiet. But Carlos spent, like, way too much on the goddamn collector's edition.
Carlos spent $100.
Yeah.
We were laughing about that earlier.
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to believe that this game I've been waiting for nearly 5 fucking years.
So when a face hugger jumps at you, it turns into a QuickTime event.
Well, that was bound to happen.
When an alien jumps on you, it turns into a QuickTime event.
Oh my god.
Stop
when an alien jumps on you, you die.
Yes, you should die. But no, it's a QuickTime event.
It's a QuickTime event that always leads to your death.
It should be a QuickTime death.
Yeah. Press X to die. If you don't press it, you still die.
Does the game at least have some scary elements to it? Please tell me yes.
No, it's mostly shooting. I hear there's one really good level where, well, I don't want to spoil it, but there is one really good level, but it's a lot of shooting dudes.
Shooting dudes? Like other Marines?
No, I don't want to give you plot spoilers, but
okay, let me just guess. A government organization that's there to secure xenomorphs.
No, you're the government organization. No, it's probably Wayland Utani
private organization. Wayland Corp.
Hey,
yeah, whatever.
Look at Chris with the answers.
I know this universe, so
yeah. No, you're
it's got to be Wayland Utani.
Yeah, they're PMCs.
Why the fuck?
Fuck.
Like, couldn't they have just taken the Colonial Marine campaign from AVP and remade that? Because that was actually really good.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was no. AVP was fucking terrible.
The original, the 1999 one? The 1999 one was good.
Yeah,
okay, no, I didn't play 1999, so I don't know.
You should play the 1991. I didn't play the fucking remake.
Yeah, we're talking about the 1999 one.
No, yeah. There was only one AVP, and it was made in 1999.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I remember playing that game, and I played the shit out of that game. Like, it was the first game that actually I ever really recognized there being like a horde mode in. It's called horde mode now because of Gears of War, but back then it was like a alien swarm mode.
Well, there's going to be a horde mode for Aliens Colonial Marines, but it's $15 DLC that's available a few weeks after release.
This has got to be another fucking joke.
How in the flying fuck is a fucking horde mode for a fucking Aliens game not built in to the core experience? Please explain this to me, because I am about to shoot someone.
I bet it'll be a PMC, not an alien you'll be shooting.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, there are aliens that you shoot, but there's a lot of shooting dudes. And aliens too, but yeah, then the horde mode will be it's $14.99 DLC coming out a little bit after the game comes out.
Man, that's
Gearbox is one of my favorite developers. Something must have happened. Somebody was murdered and he had all the core design documents. What in the fuck?
Can I just throw something out there? And I know that this might not be the most popular opinion. What if Gearbox isn't the best developer out there? I mean, besides Borderlands and Brothers in Arms, what are they really? And the fact that the original Borderlands was this amazing game, that's debatable. I kind of feel like I love Randy Pitchford. I like some of the stuff they do. I just feel like Gearbox is a really, really overrated studio. I mean, people act like everything they touch turns to gold, but
I'm not saying everything they touch turns to gold, but I fucking love what they did on Brothers in Arms. And they did a pretty decent job on Borderlands, so right. I don't understand how they could really fuck this up. It doesn't make sense to me.
The textures are amazingly bad.
Which I think it's the Curse of the Duke.
Yeah, it could be this Curse of the Duke.
It's going to be one of those IPs that, and when anybody touches it, their studio is just going to start producing shit, and they're eventually going to go under. And then someone else is going to pick up the IP from like a sale, and then it's going to pass on to them, and they're going to start making shit, and they're going to go under. Right. And it's going to pass on to another. It's going to be like it's not pretty.
Let's see what else. What else about the game? Let's see. AI is supposedly really pretty bad. The aliens just kind of run up to the AI, and they'll just do like a melee boxing match with each other.
Oh, God.
It's just...
Well, if you think about their other games, Borderlands, was the AI any good there?
No. No. Like, let's be honest.
Very straightforward.
Like, all Gearbox makes is first-person shooters. And none of them are all really that good in the sense of it being a first-person shooter. I mean, Gearbox is good despite the fact... Borderlands 2 is good despite the fact that it's not a very good first-person shooter. But there's so much stuff other going on with the loot system, the Diablo-esque stuff, and the story, that it sort of masks that. There's so much other stuff for you to focus on that you never, like, for a moment stop and think, wow, these guns sound like shit. Or they don't have any real good feedback, It just... the AI is
stupid.
Or the AI is really dumb, So... telling you, Chris, I just because I care about you as a person... And I know that, you have love for this series. I would, I'm sure you got a red box near you. If I were you,
I'm game flying it.
Okay.
I haven't even... Let me see if I can pick it up off a red box. Because I'd love to watch that.
Like I said, I'm imploring everybody in chat, before Tuesday comes, go to YouTube and look up some gameplay videos. And educate yourself. Educate yourself.
I'm looking at their fucking list of games here, and Opposing Force, great. Blue Shift, great. Half-Life Decay, pretty fucking good.
Right.
They ported both the Halo games to the Windows, and they did a pretty fucking good job on that.
So
all the Brothers in Arms games are great.
Well,
what happened?
The Half-Life ones were using an existing engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob is Mr. Developer. Tell it like it is, Mr. Developer. Testify! Yeah. Testify!
I was just saying, like, you can't credit them too much with especially when it comes to AI and gun mechanics in the Blue Shift or the Half-Life ones or the ports, because they had a framework to work off of. Like, they had something they had to either emulate, or there was just an environment they already had. Like, they were emulating the Halo stuff.
I wish I had church music to play. like the Harlem Boys Choir to start playing.
No, the only thing that's a really kind of a question there for me is the Brother in Arms stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'd never played those games. Were those
They were squad-based tactical games. They were very good. Yeah. I enjoyed them quite a bit.
They were really good.
But
what engine was it in? Like, did they use their own engine? I mean, was it
I don't know. Well, just to riff on that for 1 second, if you remember when they were talking about Aliens Colonial Marines, they talked about how they were building this new engine and this new lighting system. And I wonder, they spend so much time building this new system from the ground up that all of a sudden the release date was looming down, and they were like, fuck, like, we have so much other shit to do.
Don't build a new engine. That's my recommendation to every fucking developer out there. Don't build a new engine.
I don't think they built a new engine. I think it was on Unreal 3, but I thought Randy said
Road to Hill 30 and Earned in Blood were on modified UE2, and then the third game, Hell's Highway, is UE3.
Okay,
so they're using the Unreal Engine.
I just remember Randy Pitchford saying they developed a new lighting engine and stuff for Aliens Colonial Marines, and I'm wondering if people that ate up so much of their resources, so much of their development time. I mean,
lighting engines are not like, what kind of lighting engine? What are you talking about? Like, when you say lighting engine, it can be anything of like, we wrote some new shaders.
You'd have to. I'm going by what he told us at E3 and behind closed doors and that kind of stuff.
According to Wikipedia, Aliens Colonial Marines uses what they call the Red Ring engine.
Oh, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. You never want to call your new product Red Ring. Yeah, that's a horrible.
It's basically Unreal 3 with a new renderer attached.
Okay.
Well, whatever that means.
But still, that's a lot of resources to put towards that. Like, why would you want to do that?
I don't know.
It's the gameplay isn't there. From what I'm seeing from the videos for Aliens Colonial Marines, the gameplay isn't there. The lack of polish is amazing. Where the animations are really jerky and don't seem like they were ever polished out. The voices going when the mouth of the character is still closed. People holding,
I bet
people like holding guns and like the hand not being attached to the gun but being a little bit away from it.
I can almost predict now if they do a post-mortem and go through and like, this is why all this is really unpolished. Excuse me, I'm trying to vomit right now. No, this is why it's all like.
Well, good luck, Bob.
Well, it's unpolished and everything is probably because they decided to do the foolish and create their new rendering engine on top of Unreal 3.
Right.
It's whenever you invest a lot of time in writing your own engine, the amount of testing and just development time you need for that goes up exponentially.
Yeah.
It's an undertaking.
Right.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Really, really not worth it. It's if you don't have 6 years, 8 years to develop a game, don't write your own engine. Because it's going to take a long time. There's a reason why people like on Epic Games, Unreal, sell the Unreal Engine. Is because, and so many people use it. Because it's not cost effective to make your own.
Right.
Because there's games today are becoming way more complex than they used to be back 20 years ago. There's a lot of granted, DirectX is a lot better than it was back when it was born in 19 or whatever. I think it was 90, late 90s. I think DirectX came out on Windows 95 was the first one that had DirectX. Had Direct Draw and everything. I think StarCraft used StarCraft and Diablo were one of the first games that I remember the successful games using these engines. And then OpenGL is the other one you're going to be using. Those are the two. And they get better over time. But writing an engine on top of that shit when there's a lot of kind of intricacies between the two, because they're not exactly the same. Like running on DirectX versus OpenGL, which OpenGL is going to work on Linux and all these other shit. It's very multi-platform. Right. DirectX is just Windows. But like having an entire engine written around these two things and doing everything like on top of that, like asset management, making sure things load in with the right times. They're not going to be like, because have you ever noticed when you get into a new level and then everything looks like shit for about 2 seconds?
Right.
And then it comes back and looks good. That's just shitty asset management. Like you're not loading in the correct assets quickly enough.
I see.
It happens in Unreal 3. It does happen in Unreal 3.
Happens a lot in Unreal 3. In fact, it's kind of known for that.
And what it usually happens is I think it's with people who use the engine who are not familiar with it, because when you if you're in one part of the map, what it does for kind of like under the hood stuff is if you're standing in the bottom of a valley and you have these trees and everything that's really close, really wonderfully, gorgeously rendered trees, and further away you get rolling hills and you see peaks off in the distance. What happens is that as you get further away from where the person is, the shit that's being rendered looks terrible. Right. But because it's so far away, you can't tell.
Yeah.
And that's how they save CPU cycles or GPU cycles, is by just having really shitty textures up, like way up there, and really shitty polygon count. Like it just doesn't matter at the distance you're at, because it's just going to be too blurry or too far away for you to tell, because the pixels are just going to be it's not going to be really super sharp.
Right.
Like that. And if you have someone here and then you have them teleport to the top of the peak, and the engine's not expecting that, all of a sudden you're at the top of the peak, and then it goes, oh shit, I have to load everything around me right now. And it takes can take up to a couple seconds to be even 5 to 10 seconds before it loads in all the really high resolution models, the textures, all that from memory, because a lot of times it's just not in memory. But it's these kind of things, knowing about the engine, like knowing I need to make sure that we're tell the engine, hey, prefetch all these assets before we move there. Loading screens are a big thing. Like this is they hide all the shit behind loading screens. And just and these are all things, like if you create your own fucking engine, or you create your own renderer, these are all things you have to think about and have to do and solve.
Right. And just
there's so many things that people don't know that goes under the hood that makes this shit difficult.
Yeah.
There's just so much that's going on that people don't even see.
And Chris, Jamma in subscriber at 4pp.tv, just clarified, so the Horde mode, $14.99, available 2 weeks after release.
Fuck!
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
It's, yeah. And I think the people were finishing the campaign in like 6 to 7 hours. The main campaign. I've been saying
6 to 7 is not bad though.
Well, no, 6 to 7.
Yeah, six to 7 hours. I mean, most, if you consider that's a little short. Most single player campaigns for these types of games these days is 8 hours. Like that's the average.
Well, for an FPS, nowadays.
Yeah, and even Dead Space 2 was about 9 to 10 on your first playthrough.
Right.
But it's
I've been saying this for a while. I had high hopes for this game as well, but then when I was watching that marketing, and I was like, I kept on saying, "Where's the single player content? When are they going to show the single player?"
They didn't show shit.
Like this is all multiplayer, and every convention we would go to, multiplayer. And I was like, "Where's the single player game? Where's the single player game?" And the longer it's been taking for us to see much of that, my hopes started crashing, and it'll be interesting to see how they respond to this.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they fucked up an original IP. Like they're fucking up a beloved franchise that affects a lot of people. So, but yeah,
hurting me inside.
I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah, we'll see it. And if it comes out and it's amazing, but given that you've already seen like quite a bit of the game, well, chances are it's not going to be like it's going to amaze you in the last. Half of the game.
The final hope is the fact that there is a huge downloadable update on day one, on Tuesday. That, you load up the game on Tuesday and it's
a new game.
There's a 200 megabyte or a gigabyte patch for that motherfucker. Maybe that'll happen.
All the campaigns.
Maybe that'll happen. It takes out all the PMCs and replaces them with really, really thoughtful alien encounters. But I doubt that.
Well, we'll find out Tuesday.
Just remember, I was right. Just
no matter what happens.
No matter what happens, I was right. I like that. Oh, man.
I'm gonna rent it. I'll go across the street and red box it. That is the amount of effort I'm willing to put in.
But remember, Bob, a big part of this game is the multiplayer and the co-op, and it has a season pass.
Fuck.
So you won't have access to any of that unless you pay $10 for the season pass.
Are you certain? I mean, maybe that only corresponds to the DLC.
Not a season pass, an online pass. There's an online pass.
Okay, the online pass. So there isn't a fucking online pass. God damn it.
Yeah, sorry, I mean season, an online pass. So even if you rent it, you still have to pay for that online pass if you want to get into all the multiplayer content, all the co-op content.
I don't know if I want to do that.
I don't feel the urge to either. And if this game turns out terribly, I might be a little inconsolable for about 5 or 6 days.
Right.
So
it actually has there's a season pass and an online pass.
There's two.
So if you rent the game, you need an online pass, but you can also buy a season pass, which gets you whatever DLC is going to be coming.
Right.
For cheaper.
Why do people think of that deal?
Including
I like having more to the game, but when it's horde mode is another $15. Fuck.
That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy.
No. That should be part of the core game. When it should be a part of the core game, you don't put it in DLC.
It should be a season pass and an online pass. I'm sorry, but in this age, online pass is bad enough. And even if you're going to have that, you had to reward the player in some way. So you have to give them some kind of fucking content.
Right. Yeah.
What?
Well, I would understand if horde mode was tied to the online pass.
Well, the online pass is just for people who haven't bought the game.
Yeah, it's for people who haven't bought the game. But obviously, like, if you have people who play the game and they want to be able to play horde mode, it's like, doesn't matter if you're playing it by yourself or you want to play with someone else, you have to get the online pass to be able to get it. Like, that would be an incentive for people who are just renting. But since it's if you are just renting or you buy it used, and you go, well, shit, I gotta pay. I bought it used for $30. It was originally retailing for $60.
Right.
Bought it used for $30. I got my online pass, typically $10.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh well, I want to get horde mode, another $15 on there.
yeah. So if you buy this game used as a used game, you buy the game. You're right, $30.
Don't buy it used. Like there's no fucking way you should ever buy this used.
Yeah. Then $10 for the online, and then another $15 for the fucking.
And then wow. How many people are going to be willing to buy this game at $60? I'm not. Right now, I'm absolutely not.
Well, if you buy the game new, you get the online pass, of course.
Yeah, but I'm not willing to pay $60 for it now.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you saw the YouTube videos, I'm not either. That was my intention was to buy it because I was interested in it and I want to review it. And now I'm thinking, well, I'm just gonna rent it. I might still dish out the $10 for the online pass just so I can do my review, but not happily.
Yeah, so. I mean, Blue Fabit was in chat was asking, like, does the season pass come with an online pass? So if you bought the season pass with a rental copy or a used copy, would you be able to get the online pass with it? And I have no fucking idea. Probably not.
That's a good question. Not. I would assume not. I would assume you need.
Yeah, they haven't said anything about it. I've read.
Yeah, because the season pass just gets you the DLC for cheaper.
Yeah. What? Not for free?
Well, no,
I mean, honestly, you buy. Well, yeah, you buy the season pass, you get all the DLC,
right? And it's
free
cheaper
because you pay for the season pass,
right? But
it's cheaper than buying them piecemeal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like how I
was like, you pay $15, you get 10% off all the DLC.
You ever buy? Give us $30, you get 5% off. It's a beautiful deal. It's a beautiful deal, just for you. Just for you.
$15 now. 5% off later.
I can't really bitch too much about season pass because I became a $50 Battlefield 3 premium member, so I'm getting it up the butt just as much as everybody else. Although, you know what? I'll say this. I'll say the DICE did that shit pretty well. I mean, they came out with really good content continually for a year and a half, and it wasn't just the DLC. Like, people who were premium memberships got a lot of other stuff as well. So I don't feel really bad about that.
Yeah, and Mass Effect 3 was the same way. I mean, all the multiplayer DLC they released was fucking free, and the single player content was relatively decent for the price. So
right. It's
there are good ways to do it, and there are bad ways to do it. This is the bad way.
I really want to play. I want to play with I want to play only with Carlos, and the first day he does, like the first moment, I want to be there with him.
You want to hear him break, don't you?
I want to hear him break over Xbox Live as we're playing Aliens Colonial Marines together.
But the thing is, like, Carlos has that laugh where you can't tell if he's laughing or crying.
He does, yeah. He's like...
Don't do this to Carlos, man.
I want to be there.
He's a simple man. He enjoys his blops.
I want to be there to console him.
You don't need to break his world by making him play this game.
I want to be there to console him over Xbox Live.
I think we need to get Carlos over there live on the feed on Tuesday night so we can watch him just fall apart, just crumble.
Well, I think he's actually the one to be doing New Release Tuesday.
Yeah, I think he's going to be playing this on Tuesday night.
He should not touch it until he does it on the feed. I want to see him do it on the feed.
Yeah.
And I'll play with him on the feed. He spent $100. He bought the collector's edition. He spent as much money as you can possibly spend on Aliens Colonial Marines.
And he still has to pay for Horde mode. Oh
wait, unless wait, does the collector's edition come with a season pass?
I don't know. I have no idea. I would hope so.
Oh my god! If they charge $100 for the collector's edition, but still make those poor motherfuckers pay for fucking Horde mode, $15 2 weeks later. Jesus Christ, that's just mean. There's no reason to do that to people.
Exclusive competitive multiplayer pack. Upgrade boost. The fuck?
Oh, see, the upgrade boost is so you get ranks faster.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're right.
I told you, I'm not joking. And these are not like online, like Team Fortress ranks. These are like your character ranks up. Rank 3, Super Sergeant person.
Super Sergeant person? Is that the rank?
That is the
high quality resin figurine. 4 playable movie characters. Okay, additional character customization armor, weapons, flamethrower, multiplayer weapons.
The figurine is kind of neat. I'll give him that.
Sonic electronic ball breakers. Phase plasma rifle.
Ball breakers, because bros.
Exclusive game level, firing range, dossier. Mission brief. I don't see Horde mode.
We're gonna call a gun Ball Buster. Yeah.
If the base release that we're about to experience is terrible, I'm actually curious as to what the Wii U release is going to be like.
Oh.
Because we already know the Wii U's processing ability is lackluster to begin with.
I know what happens. Like, so when an alien grabs you, like you have to look.
Slideshow.
No, you have to look down at the little Wii U remote.
Oh god!
Right? And then you have to use your fingers and slide his arms off of you. Like, get off me! Get off me! Get off me, you damned alien! Off of me!
You need to write with Starless, I need an adult.
Yeah.
You need to spell it correctly.
You need to flick him in the face with your finger. No, get off me, you damned alien!
Tap his nose. Bad alien. Bad alien.
Bad alien.
Shit. So it does not look like they're
the collector's edition doesn't come with Horde
Sci-Fi
mode.
is saying the Horde mode is a Walmart exclusive.
No.
No, that can't be Sci-Fi.
That would be too much.
That would be. Let me see. Walmart.
Already, I cannot believe that if you buy collector's edition doesn't come with a season pass, or it doesn't come with at least really.
Oh my God.
If you get the collector's edition for $100,
oh my God, they're right. She's fucking
even
right.
Halo 4 had that. It had the full Spartan Ops pass that got you every fucking thing.
Okay, so Walmart, the Walmart exclusive is not.
So Walmart gets it free, but everyone else
Walmart gets it free when it comes out, but everybody else has to pay for it.
pay $15 2 weeks later.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so if you pre-order ACM from Walmart, you get Horde mode for free. Anywhere else, you have to get it. You get it 2 weeks later for $15. Even if you went out like our good friend Carlos and spent $100 on the collector's edition of Aliens Colonial Marines, 2 weeks later, you have to drop another $15 to get Horde mode.
I hope he pre-ordered it from Walmart.
Well, he does live in Texas, so where else would he get it?
Games.
It's kind of a redneck joke. He probably went to GameStop.
7-Eleven. Did they stop selling video games at like?
They did it for a while.
I bought Fallout 3 at a 7-Eleven.
Really weird place to buy Fallout 3.
So strange. But God, that's fucking ridiculous.
This is depressing.
This is ridiculous. It's you know what? It's not even that. It's a good game with this shit on there. It's what looks to be a fucking awful game with this much cashing in attached to it.
At least some of this marketing and this DLC shit, it has to be somehow part of Sega. Sega has to be at fault for some of this, because there can't be this sadistic a bastard working at Gearbox thinking, yes, I will get all their money.
Well, I'll be honest. I think developers have very little control over this stuff. I think this is 100%, the publishers. Gearbox has enough to do with making the game to not be bothered with all this other stuff. I mean, I'm sure they're in talks because they have to provide the content. They have to provide those extra levels or those extra modes. But I think they're really told by the publisher what their expectations are and what they need to make.
Yeah, it's. I think it's really changes from publisher to publisher, but it could be that they're contractually obligated. Like the publisher says, we're not going to give you the money to develop this unless you do these and these and these.
Yeah, I mean, Randy Pitchford hasn't bought a new felt jacket in 7 years. I don't think he's getting a huge kickback from Sega for this.
Oh God, Sci-Fi posted a picture of a woman crying.
That's going to be Carlos.
Well, no, she was really looking forward to it. I think we just broke her.
We broke, Sci as well.
Yeah.
How could you do... This is all your fault. You made Sci-Fi cry.
I'm sorry, Sci-Fi. Did you look at the footage? Sci-Fi chick is watching in 4pp.tv live right now, and she's very upset. I'm wondering if she watched the footage on YouTube that I told people to look at, because it's really important.
In your case, it's not screen tearing; it's screen tears.
It's screen tear. Oh, she doesn't want to. She says, "I don't want to."
She doesn't want to.
Choose to believe.
Did you pre-order Sci-Fi? Did you pre-order?
Wait a second. Did Sci-Fi pre-order the collector's edition? It sounds like, or is she just sad?
Yeah, I don't know if she pre-ordered the collector's edition.
Because you know who did? Carlos.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there again.
Too bad he's not. He usually pops in for cocktail time to yell at us, but
I think he knows what. I think he's afraid. He knows what's coming. Yeah. He might think we're talking about it.
He's alone, naked in his bathroom, weeping.
That's right.
Yeah, because he read your article.
He read my article. I can't link it right now, but you can just go to YouTube and put it in. You can find it.
Oh, she has 5 down on the regular edition.
Oh, okay. Well, that's.
She missed the CE date. Oh God, she would have done it. She I don't know. She
would have
book collector's edition stuff. So
she would have. So we'll see. Like I said, maybe there's going to be a huge patch. Maybe it'll be okay, but even a lot of reviewers, or a few reviewers, they can't legally say anything just yet, but they've been alluding in places like Twitter and NeoGAF that it's not going to be a pretty day on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, in particular, Jim Sterling said something on Twitter, and then the deputy reviews editor, because I guess you need a deputy reviews editor. It's so strange. Over at Polygon, who apparently has hired everyone in the world, said something on NeoGAF. Nothing in particular, because they're legally obligated not to, but somebody made the comment in this long 23-page NeoGAF thread. It's very hard to miss if you go to NeoGAF. That one person said, I know this game is looking like it's really bad and everyone's really negative. I'm just hoping that at least my love and nostalgia for the Aliens games will help me to get through it. And the next post was from the deputy reviews editor from Polygon, and he wrote, "Don't bet on it." So that's pretty clear. Now I'm just taking bets to how low it's going to be.
Yeah.
So
I got the message from Infinite Sin on Steam. Infinite Sin, who the fuck are you in chat? Basically, that there's a Monster Energy exclusive armor DLC for Colonial Marines. You can only get it through Monster Energy.
Only through Monster Energy.
Only for Monster Energy. Oh. I wonder if the entire armor is like their
with the claw,
green and black,
with the claw coming down.
It's Santa Shepherd.
No, with like the claw coming down, the Monster Energy drink logo.
It's got the M on the chest.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Yeah. You know what it is? I know what it does. I know what it does. So it turns all the aliens' blood from acidic blood to Monster Energy drink.
So you're like cracking aliens in your knees and just drinking.
Yeah. So when you kill an alien when it's close, you get life and you get energy. You know, you move really fast.
Well, I've never had a monster, but I can only assume that it tastes just as bad.
Probably.
It's like if someone made a smoothie out of Indian food that someone had already eaten.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's very minerally earthy kind of.
So Zarls is about to post the link for the Monster Energy drink DLC armor in chat over at 4pp.tv. Okay, here's the picture of it. Oh, it's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It has the Monster Energy drink logo on the front of the fucking armor.
Oh my fucking god. Sega, what are you doing?
Oh my god.
Sega, you got this license years ago, and you just let it fester and die with each game that has come out with it. Why are you destroying everybody's hopes and dreams? Look at AVP, the remake. I don't know what you did, but you pressed the awful button, and then you canceled the Obsidian Alien RPG. And now you're releasing this and doing this fucking DLC stretching?
It's what plants crave. It's what plants crave. I can't. It's like they reached into the recesses of our mind and got what we were thinking and said, let's make that. That's a good idea.
This has just been a downward spiral the entire show. It's like about Colonial Marines. I wasn't thinking it was going to be this bad, but now that like the more shit that I learn about it, it's just
like imagine like everyone made fun of the Doritos Mountain Dew thing for Halo. But imagine if they released like special like Mountain Dew Spartan armor with the Mountain Dew logo on the front. That's what this is like. Yeah, and like a fucking Dorito on the helmet. That's what this is. That's what this. Why would you want this? Like why would you? But you know what? I'll go in the game. There'll be some douchebag with this fucking armor on.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I bet it glows too. I bet the claw glows in the fucking dark.
Yeah. And it's being handled by a 13-year-old who knows the game far too well and is going to teabag your ass.
That's right. And apparently he fucked my mother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I fucked your mother. My balls dropped and I fucked your mother.
I fucked your mother and dropped my balls in energy drink.
Because that's what we need. 13-year-old on energy drinks. Oh, that's a good fucking idea right there.
Oh, my God. I can't believe this is real. I'm staring at this picture. I'm just staring at it because I can't believe it. Because this is, I pictured this. This is what I pictured in my head, and I was like, "There's no way. There's no way." Like,
really is.
It's like, what did you do, Ray? No, it can't be. It can't be. It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
God damn it, Ray.
It's always Ray. It's Ray's fault. So that's what we have to look forward to on Tuesday. I hope you're all prepared for Aliens, Colonial Marines. Here's what I want everyone to do. This is my assignment to everyone in chat, everyone at 4Player. When Tuesday comes and Tuesday goes, and the reviews are released, and everyone sees what a giant bag of shit Aliens, Colonial Marines is, I want you all to spread far and wide, like my little gelflings. Spread, fly, 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 and I want you to put out everywhere on the internet and say he was right. Everywhere you can.
Okay.
No context, just he was right.
No context, just he was right. I want everyone to know he is he should be in capitalized letters. He was right. Everyone to know. Everyone needs to know.
Yeah, Joseph Christ is proselytizing.
That's right.
It's the word of Christ.
The word of Christ came true. His words became flesh.
I want someone out there to get Carlos the Monster Energy armor for his game, just as a consolation prize.
Should we should we get this for Carlos?
We should try to get the armor for
Tuesday, I will buy a monster before the show. I will bring it to him, have him drink it, enter the code, and then watch the tears start to fall.
He might find out by that time, but I think if he wants to do this right, he should be doing his first playthrough in Monster Energy drink armor. Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Fucking Christ. All right, well, it is 10 o'clock. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about or games you want to go through before we...
I've got one thing.
Go for it.
I showed it off Wednesday during my Afternoons with Chris thing.
Are you going to get a channel banned?
Huh?
Are you going to get a channel banned? What did you show off on Wednesday? What?
Oh.
No. I'm showing you off something pretty cool. So this isn't officially available through Irrational just yet.
Uh-huh.
But I pre-ordered something a few months back, and it finally came in. So
okay, so it's not your dick.
It's not his dick.
It's not. No. Can you pre-order dicks? I don't know. But yeah.
You can, actually.
I got this.
The fuck?
And
it's the fucking...
It's a hook. The sky hook.
It's the sky hook
from BioShock Infinite.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And you pull the trigger. And you can't tell me that is not pretty fucking cool.
That is very cool.
That's pretty awesome.
How do you
what?
I'm sorry. How do you holster that thing?
Oh, you slide your arm through this hole right here.
No, what do you mean? Like when you're done using it, like
where does it go?
I don't know. You just lay it down somewhere. There's no. It doesn't come with a display case. But
no, I just mean like if it was real life, like where would you holster that thing?
I have no fucking idea.
Like a giant backpack or something.
But I mean, video game logic. You know,
exactly.
You got 9 different weapons on the Doom Trooper, and they weigh over 200 pounds, and he's running just balls to the wall.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
video game logic. It's always good.
Yeah. So. I mean, even if Aliens Colonial Marines...
Is it this month?
No,
what's
it comes
that?
out next month.
Next month.
Yeah.
I thought it was February.
That is cool. How much did that set you back?
I think I spent like 60 or 70 on it.
All right. That's good.
Not bad at all.
That's not bad.
Not bad for a collector's item, really.
Yeah. Is it just plastic or is it wood and metal?
It's mostly plastic. There's a little kind of like rubbery wannabe leather on it, but the detailing they do on it, I don't know if you can really see it on my fucking camera. But I mean, it's kind of engraved plastic, and it really looks authentic to the design they are using in the game, at least.
Yeah, I can see on the bigger view of your camera, and it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah. So I don't know, it's pretty cool, and this just reminds me that even if Aliens Colonial Marines bombs this week, we've got so many fucking good games to look forward to. I mean, we've got Crisis 3 and Metal Gear Rising next week. We've got Metro and
both next
Infinite
week
coming.
Yeah.
I mean,
Metal. Yeah, that's wait, Rising is next week. Next week. That's right, because this week is ACM, and next week is Metal Gear Rising. No, you're right. There's a lot of good games coming out this year. It's gonna be it's still gonna be a good year.
So one fly in the ointment shouldn't ruin your spring. So.
I'm yeah. I mean, but see, we haven't had our 2013 spectacle yet. And this might be it. So.
When is Metro Last Light coming out?
Supposedly
never.
March.
That's going to get pushed back. I can guarantee you.
They might just push it back for financial reasons, but the game is pretty much complete at this point. I mean, I'm pretty certain if THQ hadn't gone under, the game would have been in certification right now.
Yeah.
I am buying that game. Day one or pre-order on Steam.
Fuck yeah.
It's gonna be a good one.
I love me some Metro 2033.
We'll see. I wasn't huge on the first one, so hopefully this next one will pull me in.
Didn't you like the first one?
I had issues with the combat and fighting those monsters was kind of a pain, and I wasn't doing a lot of stealth, and
Yeah, that's your problem.
I just felt like
you need stealth.
I just felt like I always had like 8 things like running at me all the time and hitting me. And it's just kind of a pain.
Stealth helps you so much. There's actually you can buy armor that'll improve your stealth.
Do I have to drink a Monster Energy drink to get that armor, or is it?
No, you do not.
Oh, okay. Just wondering.
Thank God.
You actually have to go back in an alley and suck a hobo's dick.
Oh, that as long as I have to
the DLC code's written on his penis.
It's tattooed on his balls.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks everyone at home for watching us here. This has been Cocktail Time over at 4Player Network. Thank you, Bob, and thank you, Chris, for doing this tonight. And definitely check out our main website at 4playernetwork.com for video game editorials, opinion news, and reviews. Stick around because Brad will probably be taking over. And definitely look for last week's show. It's going to be hitting the site probably tomorrow. But we will see you guys all next week. Later.